Good evening, everyone. Good evening to all of those who have joined into the live stream so far. I am your host with the subjective most, Snoopy, and welcome to another Apex Point Racing League feature race. I'm not alone as always. Joining me in the comms box today is the one and only Anthony. How are you, mate?
Very good. Thanks for having me again.
Always a
Uh,
pleasure.
good evening to everybody who's already in the live stream.
Yes, good evening, everyone, and hopefully you're all staying dry compared to us two in the comms box at the Nurburgring. Obviously not in real life, but it's always good to embellish in a little bit of fantasy every now and then. But then again, we are also pretty dry in the comms box here at the Nurburgring today. It's been raining pretty consistently, as you can see from the preview on the screens. It hasn't let up. It's been, like I mentioned, pretty consistent throughout the entire race. So it should be a slippery and fast sprint series. So I'm really looking forward to this one tonight. Actually, the first sprint series that will be live streaming or spotlighting as part of our feature race this season. So, as always, with that, there's a new car that we have on the block. So, this season's sprint series car is actually the Radical SR3 SL. There's a car that's actually been on our shortlist for a little while, Anthony, hasn't it? And I think what we
Yes,
were sort of tossing up with this car in particular was whether it would be worthwhile chucking it into the different array of drivers because for the longest time it seems that the gear trick on that car was something that you needed to maximize to get the most performance out of it. Isn't that right?
correct. And that was one of the reasons why I kind of was really vetoing, or even not so much vetoing, but putting a question mark on it, was because a lot of people will find that they're trying to drive it with all the gears like you would typically any other race car. However, this one you're skipping gears, and if you don't know the trick, you're going to be left behind by a lot. It's not a
Mm.
small amount, it's a lot. And we had a similar thing when we did the RX-7, if you recall,
Oh yeah.
but we mitigated that by letting everybody know who was in that race that skipping gears is the OP move.
Yeah, I think it was either round one or round two. I remember from memory we were both racing. We're like, how is Achilles just like
That's
gapping us
exactly
on
it.
the
Yeah,
expressway at Tokyo here? So we dived back a little bit. I don't think he was as forth forthcoming with the
that's right. We had
information.
to. I
So
think we had to work it out. Yeah.
we watched the replay and he was like, yeah, mate, that's how I'm doing it. And then we passed on the information to everyone. And then suddenly the field's got a lot more tighter as a result. So it'll be interesting to see whether that's in play tonight, the gear shifting technique. To be honest, I haven't actually tuned into any of the sprint series as a driver or a spectator up until this point. So I'd be interested to see if that's actually happening, whether that's still a thing. I imagine it is. But I don't think it's just going to be about gear tricks tonight. I think it's going to be about consistency and control in these conditions. So we're at the Nurburgring, the GP circuit, but we're actually running the sprint layout. So it's a shorter layout than compared to the full Formula One track that they used to run a couple of years ago. And as mentioned, it's just raining consistently. So it's a locked on level of rain. It's pretty consistent, running all afternoon for both races. So for those that are new, our sprint series, we do a reverse grid start for race number one. So whoever has the lowest amount of points in the sprint series championship, they will start at the front of the grid, and where you finish race one is where you will start race two. So the same length each time, about a 20-minute race, 13 laps for each race. And interestingly, with this one, despite the conditions, a few of the drivers have reported that it's not intermediate or wet territory. It's actually slicks territory. So I think that's going to make
Oh
that
wow.
very, very interesting. The rain should be consistent, so no part of the track will be drier or wetter than any other part of the track. But I think with the rear wheel drive layout of the car, the very light nature of the car, and also the wet conditions here, it's going to make for a very, very interesting race here at the Nurburgring tonight. And for those that are tuning in, thank you for jumping in at the start. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you drop a like if you haven't done so already. Thank you, Morgs. Great minds think alike. And with that, on that segue as well, we're just shouting out that tonight will be featuring Lobby B drivers. So they will be the drivers running about 16th or lower in the Sprint Series Championship. So a good mix of drivers compared to the previous stream where we showed the Pro-Am drivers, which are, more towards the upper tiers and upper echelons of the drivers that we normally see. So we'll be instead focusing on Lobby B tonight, and your grid that you have is as so. So for the start of this race, we have in pole position, thanks to the reverse grid format, we have halfback 66. He's a Sprint Series regular, usually in the lower half of the field. Makes sense as to why he's in Lobby B, but he's consistently finishing his races. So if he stays out of trouble early tonight, points are definitely possible for halfback. In second place, we have Creepy Friendly representing PSU Stealth, or Yowie for those that know him by his nickname. He's actually one of the drivers with the lowest elos from a sprint perspective, but he has a really good attendance and completion rate. So we're expecting him to focus on just keeping himself clean and getting through the race and surviving. And obviously that pays a lot of dividends in these types of sprint races. In third place, representing 2Sus NRG, is the Trickster. Bit of an anomaly with this one. He's a bit of a high ceiling driver with volatile sprint results, and I think he's might be seal clubbing a little bit in this division here. But the fields will definitely even out by the time we get to race 2. So I think the Trickster is going to be one to watch in terms of an outright contender for tonight's race. In P4, we have TCR Camcorp. He's a bronze ranked Sprint Series driver, but he's made some incremental improvements across the recent rounds. So I don't think we'll be seeing him forcing any moves tonight, but I think that sort of restraint will pay off with some clean and consistent racing. In fifth position, we have Josh representing PSU Stealth. He's a strong driver in the Pro-Am with some great results there. The Sprint Series has been a little bit tougher for him. I think he's been prioritising his practice on those Group 3 machines rather than the Radical. But if he hooks up a clean opening lap, I expect him to climb through the different levels today. Not that he has far to go starting from P5. In P6, we have Full Grumpy representing Black Sheep Racing. So he's one of the most experienced mid-pack Sprint Series driver and one of the most experienced drivers as a whole, as well as representing the development AM category as well. So never write him off. This track really does suit his style and performance, and that consistency will come through strong. In P7, we have Rustygate. So he's one of the most consistent sprint finishers in the lobby. Makes sense as to why he's starting towards the latter half of the grid. He's a classic slow burner. Watch his positions tick over as he moves through the race here. In P8, we're up to 8, yes, is 10 Pilot, representing PSU Stealth. And again, very, very strong driver. We're going to see this as we move towards the back of the lobby here. He's going to be absolutely one to watch, especially if he has clean air. He can be quite dangerous, so keep an eye out for him. In P9, we have the crowd favourite Morg from Black Sheep Racing. He's got solid attendance, kind of like Full Grumpy as well, and racing the Development AM series as well. Sprint Series has been a little bit consistent, but this could be a redemption drive for him tonight. In P10, we have SimMit80, or Simo for short, representing PSU Legacy. Again, another reliable point scorer. He's exactly the kind of driver that you want behind you or nowhere near you. He can either really push you, or he will just be completely blaring ahead when you won't see him again. So we'll see how quickly he can cut through the mix here. In P11, we have DJ 2Sus representing 2Sus NRG. He's a very entertaining sprint driver, high commitment, high risk, but high reward. So if he keeps it tidy, this could be a big points night for him. And starting at the back is Specs, our resident photographer from Black Smoke Racing. He's a very, very strong Sprint Series performer. So starting in 12, he's actually on that cusp of being in between a Lobby A and Lobby B. So expect him to be fast. He is the benchmark in this lobby. So others will measure themselves against him. But then again, he will be starting at the back of the pack. So credit where credit's due. He's got a little bit of work to do. But yeah, we're looking forward to a good mix of drivers tonight. There's a good mix of Pro-Am and Development Series drivers, Anthony. So I think it's going to be an interesting mix. What I know, this is probably casting your mind back long time ago. You have a few Sprint Series titles under your belt. What did you find worked for you when you were starting at the back or when you would come to each race? Because I feel
Yeah.
like you'd feel like you make really good improvements by finishing every race first, but then almost having to reset and start at the back every week. Surely that takes a little bit of a mental toll, and you need a little bit of a game plan when you come into a track like this as well that's wet.
Yeah, so as you said, yeah, I have won this series a couple of times, and I always came into the first race with the mentality that you don't have to win the first race, you only have to win the last race, because ultimately that's the only race where you're going to get your points from for the leaderboard. In any case, this is just to set the grid for the round, for the next heat. So I would always try and pair up with, because I was always usually at the back. You pair up with the drivers and you let them, make the moves, make the gaps, follow them through, and then wait until the end of the heat to, if you can, make your move at that point,
Yep.
or or the you ultimately get the chance to do it in the 20-minute race at the end. So it's all about the patience, picking your time, and staying out of trouble. The biggest issue for the guys who are starting at the back, given that they're the ones who are typically leading the points, is that they're going through the rear and the mid pack, and the mid pack drivers are going to be fighting the backpack drivers,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you can get caught out in some, inexperienced drivers making moves and
Mm.
being subjected to getting slowed up or just being bumped into. So it's a bit of a battlefield out there for the faster drivers, but this is why we do it. It gives everybody a chance to mix and match skill
Yep.
levels, and we've always been about in this league, in any case, that you're always going to learn to be a faster driver if you're racing faster drivers. So this is why the sprint series is so popular, and why we always will run it, is because we get to mix the division
Mm.
drivers with the pro drivers, and they get to see what's happening and learn from them.
Yeah, and you also get to meet some of the other different divisions and things like that along the way. But I think you've summed it up perfectly. I remember we would always say that this first race that we're about to kick into very, very shortly is the qualifying race. So you don't need to be chasing the positions and carving everyone up and dive bombing everyone to get to, P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wherever you are, because you do have that second race that comes up to sort of do a bit of a mental reset and crack straight into it. And I think on the topic of cracking straight into it, we may as well get this one on the road. Are you good to go?
I'm ready.
All right, I'll just get the button ready to go. Hover over the replay. Okay, on the count of three. 1, 2, 3, and go. All right. It wouldn't be a sprint series race without a road car with some horns blaring. They're already off and underway. Morgs is actually running to the
That's
back
right.
of full grumpy there. But Rooster leads us off into the hairpin of turn one. I expect a little bit of carnage here considering it's wet and a bit of a hairpin. To see the radicals, or there's quite a small car, so they're able to fit side by side. Rooster going through quite cautiously, I would say, and Tricky's not wasting any time, as we mentioned. Bit of an anomaly in the lobby, starting so far at the front, being a actual pro division driver. So Tricky, or the Trickster, as we mentioned earlier, has already jumped into P1, and I think for the rest of this race, that will be the last we see of him.
Well, yes, if he just takes his time out here and doesn't make any mistakes, the second race will be where we see him getting into more battles as the
Yep.
faster drivers get into their qualifying positions.
Rooster did a good job. Left the door open for him. There was a bit of door banging on the way through, but he didn't freak out or anything like that. And he just focused. He's driving really smoothly at the moment, Rooster. So he's definitely focusing on just keeping that clean, as a few people go off in the dirt there. But we got Rooster in P2. We got Josh in P3. Camcorp right on the back of Josh here. In his slipstream, might be fashioning a little bit of a move. There he goes as he pulls out to the inside here. But pulls in right behind him, tucks in. What are we thinking? Long game there. Morgs riding the curbs very aggressively there, trying to make up for a little bit of lost time. Yowie just behind him there. Tempilot in 7th. We've got Simo in 8th. DJ2 South in 9th. Specs 10th, so made up a couple of positions there from 12th. Red Bear's the 11th, and unfortunately for Grumpy's actually gone backwards a little bit there from the start of the race as they make their way down the main straight. Tricky leading the crew here.
Tempilot and Yowie side by side for turn 1. These three cars
bit
actually,
of a huge dive there. Yep, big dive there. And the big
as he yields the positions.
Yeah, the big advantage taken from that one there is actually Yowie. He's gained a couple of positions there. Simo just running a little bit wide on the exit there as they enter the Mercedes-Benz arena, but Yowi's the biggest winner of that conundrum there, and unfortunately Tempilot is one of the losers, but through no fault of his own, he copped a huge front end of a radical courtesy of DJ2 Sus, and we were expecting that with the driver profiles earlier that we saw.
I have to say, Yowi's one of the drivers that when I'm doing the leaderboard data, I'm always looking out for his name. He's been a consistent member to the league for a very long time, and as you said early on, his ELO is at the bottom end, but in this season I think he's actually been growing. I will check that later on tonight and confirm that. I might even posting his progression, but it seems like it's been some growth there.
Tempilot was thinking about a move there, just let him know his car was there, but Yowie was quite aggressive through the curbs of the chicane and pulled up plenty of room. You can just see the water beating off the radicals here. Yowie runs a little bit wide here, actually lets Tempilot through, and he gets the job done. Yowie slots in behind for the slipstream. Spec's not too far behind him. We're riding on the back here with the oddly liveried Porsche radical courtesy of the PSU team here. Specs is making a move, Red Bears is making a move. Another dive bomb from all the faster drivers that are just trying to make big moves here and chuck it up the inside there again. Just need to remember, someone goes actually over the dirt there.
That was very close. That was Tempilot got a bit shallow on that corner, touched the grass, got a bit slippery, saved it.
Red Bears has got a half-second penalty here, so he will most likely drop right to the back of this crew because they're all pretty close together here. So we'll see when he goes down the back straight where he ends up. And we've got two of the fast Pro-Am drivers actually together here. Well, actually, it's more of a former Pro-Am driver with DJ2 Sus and Specs as well. They're pretty evenly paced and they're sitting side by side here. So I expect to see a bit of action here as we quickly switch to Red Bears. He pulls off the racing line as per the driver briefing. Slows down, actually doesn't lose a huge chunk of time. Specs has to navigate around him. I think there's two positions there. Looks like Morg served the penalty as well because he's losing a few positions here. Specs
that's freed up. Tempilot.
And they're getting all tripping up over each other's feet at the moment just with that penalty heading into a really tight chicane. Grumpy's move up to 11th. Yowie unfortunately has dropped all the way to the back, but that doesn't concern the leader of the race, which is Tricky, who is light years ahead of actually P2. We sort of expected that, but it won't be easy for him in the second race, I imagine. He'll have to be pretty vigilant with his launch and defence into turn 1, so we'll catch up with him towards the end of this race, because aside from a spin, which looks like he will be making his way through here pretty easily to the finish.
It is very nerve-wracking to start in pole position on this track, given the fact that the first turn is a hairpin.
Yes, definitely, yep. Camcorp's done a great job getting himself up to P2. Josh, the number 3 driver at APRL, is sitting in position number 3. Roos has actually done a pretty good job to hold on to 4th position here. Started on pole, but again, he is I believe a Foundation Cup or a Clubman Cup driver. To be holding on to P4 at the moment in a lobby of this calibre, it's pretty good considering it's 4 laps in. He's probably just taking advantage of keeping clear of the chaos, but he's in a bit of a PSU sandwich at the moment between Josh and Simo.
Yeah, that's right. I think for him now is keep it consistent and keep it clean. If he doesn't battle with anybody, it's going to take a long time for the fastest drivers to catch up in any case. They've got to work their way through the field. And if he can just maintain his pace, he'll end up with a good starting position for Heat 2.
Really impressed with his pace at the moment, though, to be holding on to the likes of some Pro-Am drivers and things like that. So kudos to Rooster, been around for about a season or two and seems to be enjoying himself here at Apex Point Racing League. Simo behind him is fashioning up a move. I think he might send it up the inside here, and Rooster will be calm and collected about that, just like he was on the first lap of the race. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you complete a turn one overtake.
Turn one.
Yep,
Exactly.
nice and clean, and just keep each driver give each other like a nice wide berth. 10 Pilot's probably thinking about it too. Rooster goes a little bit defensive, so just showing that he can be defensive as well as consistent. As 10 Pilot actually tries to shove the nose up there, Rooster says, no thank you, I'm holding on to this as long as I can. I know you might be a better driver in terms of elo, but I'm going to do my best here to keep hanging on.
And it may work out in Rooster's favour as well, because 10 Pilot is looking a bit impatient as he wants to hang on to the back of Simo by looks of that, but that's not going to be the case. Good defensive driving by Rooster.
Now, Tusas is still trying to carve his way through. Morg's getting in the way there. Red Bears, he has a 2.5 second penalty. Holy dooly! He must have gone off the track something fierce or bumped into another car, but that is definitely going to slow him down quite a bit. And unfortunately, that's going to put him right at the back towards where Yowie is. So we'll check in with him towards the end of the race. Morgs and Specs are side by side heading for the chicane. Morgs is aggressive curb cutting there, gets him into the position. Specs, gets a bit squirrely but holds on to it. Specs probably wanting to make a little bit more gains here, considering we started 12th. It's almost about the halfway point of the race here at the moment. I imagine he will want to be making some more moves, but the field is spreading out a fair bit. With Tricky in the lead here, he's already making his way through turn 2.
They are spreading out, but they're staying pretty compact ultimately. So it's really good to see that the balancing out for the sprint series actually is working, doing its job, taking away Tricky out of the equation. But it does seem to be a nice tight pack.
I think Tricky from memory was a sort of on-off attendance driver. So if you join one race and then you miss the next two, then you may have been really competitive in the first race, but because your points are low, it puts you towards the bottom end of the ladder. So these types of races become a little bit of a circle club for you. But I think the second race won't be as easy, but we'll see how that goes.
Yep. Ultimately, it balances itself out throughout the season, so you'll ultimately end up where you're supposed to be.
Yep, definitely.
After a few races.
Yep, and if you want to be competing for that number one next season, you've got to be competitive in this for Gran Turismo and competitive in our Group 3 series on Tuesday nights. DJ Tusas just fashioning up a move on Rooster. Rooster doesn't want to let him through too easily. There's a yellow flag up ahead, but it all seems to be cleared. DJ Tusas still looking to send it up the inside of Rooster, and he gets the job done there.
Porsches are all back together in a line.
They're actually not completely done here. DJ Tusas and Rooster going side by side. DJ Tusas does have the inside. I imagine he'll be last of the late breakers. Oh, he sends it on Simo as well, and actually, no. Hold it together, boy.
He recovered it nicely. That was from the
man, that could have been much worse. But yeah, very aggressive move there from DJ Tusas, which left the drivers behind him a bit scattered, and luckily they were all able to hold on to it. And yeah, Specs managed to sneak through as well. Rooster slowly moving his way to the back. Morgs going side by side with him here at the moment. Let's get the move done on him there. Red Bears doing a good job here, catching up after that penalty. Yowie a little while back, but he's probably thinking second race for him. Now, Anthony, I'm interested to know from your perspective, any of the drivers running traction control, are they all going free balling it tonight?
Yeah, I think Josh has the traction control on, and so does Tricky. It's hard to say with the replay because it could be deceiving.
Yeah, true.
But definitely, from what I'm seeing here, Tricky has it on. Josh, Simo, Morgs, Grumpy.
Morgs has got a 1 second penalty as well. I think he may have cut the chicane a bit too much there.
Tricky's just looking composed at the front there, just watching if he likes his lap times are faster by a second by the looks of it.
Yeah, he's only about 6 or 7 hundredths off 10 Pilots fast time. Went a bit wide there, exiting / entering the Mercedes-Benz arena. I won't be surprised if he gets a penalty for that.
Yeah, 10 Pilot's looking like the fastest driver out there at the minute. So the Heat 2 should be quite good between him and Tricky.
Might ride on board with him here to see if he's going to be doing the gear trick. He's in third gear at the moment, coming into the back straight. Fourth gear.
I think skip the second.
Oh, yep, we'll see as he comes out of the chicane. 130 miles per hour, looks like. And on there. Have a look. Probably too much of a short run. No, seems to be just going through the gears.
You have a look at Canthorpe in third through that same corner. 10 Pilot straight into third, there you go. So you can see that's why 10 Pilot's most likely getting the fastest laps. He's getting out of that second gear very quickly.
Maybe it's not as cracked out as we thought it would be. Nice sort of battle pack forming here between Red Bearsy, Rooster and Full Grumpy in P8, 9 and 10 respectively. Grumpy putting his car up on the inside here, probably a bit too far back. Holds onto it. Oh, Rooster actually goes a little bit too deep there, just makes the job nice and easy for Grumpy, so Grumpy moves through there. Yoey's actually got the jump on Morgs, so I think something's happened to Morgs there, whether he had a spin or a really big penalty, but they've now traded positions. Classic case, Morgs has gone for a spin, but goes onto it. Probably just thinking race 2 at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I think he might have got a bit rattled by whatever happened to him previously, and he's still trying to gather his composure.
Tricky, light years ahead. 10 Pilot in P2. Camcorp in P3, not too far behind. Josh is sort of lagging a little bit behind them there at the moment, so he'll be looking for the next race as well. It's not quite over.
So 10 Pilot's lapping half a second quicker than Tricky, just having a quick lance back and forth between their relatives. So it'll be interesting to see how the race turns out.
Yep.
Camcorp will be smart to try and get the draft off 10 Pilot and tag along. He has to stay on lap 8 to get his fastest personal lap time.
Yeah, I can see that 135.9. With 10 Pilot 134.8 at the moment, so doing a really good job of hanging on there. Good pace between everyone there. Josh hanging on as well. Specs has made his way from the rear of the pack into P5. And judging by the gaps in front of him, that's where he will end up unless something incredible happens. But he'll be looking for the next race there, so just keeping it clean and smashing it through. Geez, they're all running really wide into the Mercedes-Benz arena there. Seems like that's the optimal line, so no penalties for anyone there.
Yeah. You can really abuse that limit on this track, I find, in GT7.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's always a bit of risk as well because it can get a little bit bumpy. So you've got to, got to tread carefully, especially in these conditions.
Yeah.
Although the conditions haven't been too bad, the track doesn't look too wet. Definitely rain on it though.
Yeah. No issues with spray either. I found watching the start.
Nah, it doesn't seem to be too much of an issue there. Tricky coming around to do his 11th lap, or starting lap 11 actually, rather than doing 11th lap. And how's his lap times comparing at the moment? He's sort of slowing back a little bit. It seems he knows he's got the the distance between him, so it looks like he's just trying to take it easy. Yeah.
Take it easy. Just watching their lines through that Mercedes section, and Tom Pilot looks pretty tidy through there, to be honest. Holding a tight line and then sweeping through the right-hander, which is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, he's doing
also
some
got
nice
purple for his sector there as well. So his lap times have been really consistent, within a half a second of each of his laps. Tricky has not done that, and as you said before, it might just be due to the fact that he's trying to cruise and keep it safe out there to hold on to that pole position.
Specs is slowly clawing back here at Josh, so I expect Specs, say that 5 times fast, to be catching up to Josh and bringing him to the sword next race. So we'll keep an eye on that as that sort of battle pack there. Right, DJ2 seems to have settled into his bit of his groove here. Red Bears, he's actually done an incredible job catching up to P7 and could be P6 in a couple of laps' time. He's done a very good job as they short shift early through that corner there, so there's definitely some sort of strategy going on.
Yeah, definitely lapping faster than DJ, so...
Red Bearsy, and Red Bearsy's already thinking about the move here. Goes up the inside, keeps it nice and tight, but DJ Tusos just has that extra traction around the outside there. Yeah. Manages to hold on to the position.
Sweet battle to watch, I think.
We'll see how this ends up.
Red Bearsy's line way better than DJ's through that section. The trick is to hold that corner, stay real tight as long as you can, and dart across.
Oh, there he goes. So you can get a penalty by going too deep in that section.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
1.5 seconds, yeah, wow.
So that's probably where the 2-second penalty came for, who was it that got the 2 seconds?
Morgs had a 2.5. Was it Morgs? Yeah, Morgs and Red Bearsy, I think.
Yeah, that's probably due to that situation there.
It's actually Red Bearsy first, and I think Morgs had one because he dropped pretty far back.
So running wide on there is due to the fact that, and a lot of drivers do it as well, they go from the left-hand turn and they take a diagonal cross into the right-hand turn, but it gives you a poor run and a wide run, risking that penalty, and a slow exit for the right-hander. He's been muddled, so...
Yeah, I can see that there. I think it's also, and I was thinking it as Specs typed it could also be cutting the apex too much.
That's true.
Yeah, it could be that as well.
Yeah, so holding a tight line on that left-hander in that section of the track, and then darting across. For you guys who are taking that diagonal line across, keep that in mind next time you're racing on this track.
We had the Group 3s. We had the Group 3s earlier in the week at this exact same track. A little bit different conditions, a bit sort of changing conditions there in that race. Was Josh gets very squirrely coming into the Mercedes-Benz Arena. So the guys had some experience the day before they ran this race, so we'll see how that works in the second race. But for now, Tricky is coming through to take P1 in the first race.
It seems like a lot of the drivers are revving out Gear 2, so I don't know if anything's ever changed in the updates since I've been driving on this game, but it seems a lot of people are revving out Gear 2, so I don't know. I would have to test the car, but theoretically you should be skipping that gear.
Seems like Tricky has just said, just reminded everyone why he is so far ahead by setting the fastest lap on the previous lap, just to let everyone know for next race, and he's going to be one to watch.
That's it.
So P1 for Tricky, 10 Pilot P2, Cam Corp in P3. Josh is trying to hold on to P4, but let's Specs through. There may have been a bit of a come together there. So Red Bearsy gets through in P6, Simo P7, great drive from Full Grumpy to recover there to P8. DJ2 stuff, thus with that penalty, drops into P9. Rooster started P1, hold on to P10. I'd consider that a success, not finishing at the back there. Yowie in P11 and Morgs bringing up the rear in P12, but like we always say, it's not the end, it's only the beginning. So that's race one in the
And
books.
Morgs did do a great job also of recovering some ground there because he was well behind after his mistake. So I think he has some pace. He's just got to keep it consistent out there.
It would be a very interesting race, this one now, because all the dust has settled, the sand has gone through the hourglass and everything's sort of evened out here, and we have a grid set up that's ready to go with the drivers arguably in order of their pace and their, overall um, championship standings here. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. We've got a bit of a mix here. You could see that on the right-hand side of the screen there, but it's the exact same people that we had that finished the race last time as well. Um, we had some data sifted through right before this race just to give us a little bit of an idea of like who we should be looking at in terms of battle pairings and what we can expect to see. So without a doubt, we're going to have Tricky and Ten Pilot. Yeah, they're going to be really pushing each other there, so keep an eye out for that. Specs and Ten Pilot as well. They're really strong performers, so that's going to be an interesting one to watch as well. Who else do we have? We have Full Grumpy and Morgs. They're very good friends, but they've got very different driving styles, but they still come quite close together. So if Morgs can put the last race behind him and focus on this race, he should be able to catch up there. Who else do we have? We're going to have DJ2 Sus making some big moves, I reckon, especially around Camcorp as well. He might be sending a few dive bombs, up the inside for turn one. And then we have the usual crowds towards the back, the likes of Yowie and Rooster. They've got very similar elo trends, so expect to see them very close together. And I think that's about it. We've got a good spread of drivers, good spread of teams as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. All right, I'll get this ready to roll. Have you got the replay on your end?
Ready to go.
Cool. All right, I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, we're going to jump straight to the front here to see how Tricky goes defending. Gets a good start there. Ten Pilot's got a good start as well. But he might be sending it up the inside here. No, Tricky gets away.
I thought Tricky would hold it inside one.
Oh,
didn't have to.
Someone went really deep there. Simo.
I think he was hung out to drive by some other drivers there. I quite missed it, but I think there was maybe a bit of side-by-side contact pushed him out.
I think so as well. I was also just braking a little bit late there, so...
Everybody seems to be rushing for the final 20 minutes.
Yeah. This is the one that's worth the points, and they're meant to be rushing. Tricky's got it away nicely there.
Yeah, I think he was really just taking his time in the first heat due to the fact that he didn't need to push too hard. So we know he has the capability to do fast lap times here, but Ten Pilot did show us some very, very consistent fast laps. So once he, gets into the groove, hopefully we see him hang with Tricky and see some nice fighting.
So Josh has copped it a bit there, dropping from 5th to 8th for the opening lap. So make their way into the chicane. They're all pretty evenly spread out, which is good. See how Tricky's going up the front here. Still managing to pull away, but Ten Pilot's holding on to him there. They come down the main straight here. Tricky's going to have punching a hole through the air. Look at the battle pack for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Expect to see some big moves here heading into turn 1. Shows him the nose, Specs does, but nothing more of it. Simo puts a move on Bearsy, doesn't get through there. Morgs is making some big moves, up from P12 to P7.
Half a second penalty for Simo and Morgs.
Well, Simo too,
think-
hey?
Yeah, I think it was for cutting as well.
Okay. Unfortunate for Morgs there, had a really strong start. Still a long race, plenty of time to go. Josh, two sus just showing a little bit of a nose up there. Hello to everyone that's joining. Madness, haven't seen you around for a while. Hope you're well, mate. Thanks for everyone that's tuning in and commenting. Make sure you leave a like as well and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Now let's see what happens to Morgs and Simo here. Not too much of a problem here. Morgs is probably under a bit of pressure here from Josh. Keeps him honest around the outside there. Two sus looking up on the outside, but Morgs holds on.
Good job there, DJ, keeping it nice and tidy there, and thinking better of hanging out on the outside could have been a disaster. So smart to let that one go and fight for the next turns.
Right on board with two sus here. See what he thinks as he looks a little bit far back. He's making his intentions very clear. He may just be more confident on his brakes into this turn. He seems to be braking on the
Yeah, I was going to say that earlier.
Yeah.
I was going to say that earlier because watching going into the chicane, he's very confident on the brakes, and he's actually making a lot of ground on other drivers under braking there. So I think he's got that down pat. It's just the point where other drivers may be braking earlier than what he knows he can do, and it's throwing him off a little bit maybe perhaps, and he's just trying to suss that out to work out how he can get them all done. But I think for turn one there, he was hoping maybe that Morgs was going to pull up the inside of Josh and he was going to follow through, but Morgs then pulled out of it. So
yeah, that's all that too.
Out to dry a bit, yeah.
See Morgs thinking about it, Josh not letting him go. We're right on board here. You see if he's ever getting the slipstream here. You can see two sus in the side mirror there. Probably a bit too far back to make a move on this one here. It's better of it. We carry on.
He's definitely breaking later than Morgs, DJ. So
Specs makes a move on Cam Corp for P4. Set up the inside there. Still technically side by side as they come down the main straight. But Cam Corp slots in behind for the slipstream.
yeah, so in this race we're going to see the battles or the passings. There's going to be not as much passing as the first race, but the battles will be more intense, I guess, and longer lasting.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy for Tricky. He hasn't gotten away completely yet. He's got a decent gap, but 10 pilots not too far away. Red Bearsy not too far back as well. Shifting early there to promote traction as he comes into the Mercedes-Benz arena. All it will take is one penalty from Tricky to bring him straight into the jaws of 10 pilot here, so we'll keep an eye on that.
Tricky's gone purple. I think also did 10 pilots. 10 pilots are about 1.5 tenths off of Tricky's pace at the minute.
Josh is still defending Morgs hard here. Doing his best to score some team points. They're making their way around to the back straight here. Grumpy right on the back of Tusas. Rooster doing a nice job just keeping his pace. Yowie though has dropped back a little bit as well, but they're kind of in similar ELO rating from what our data tells us, so
yeah,
it does make sense there. Alright, we have, look at all those cars coming down the main straight. We're Tricky P1, 10 Pilot P2, Red Bearsy P3, Specs P4 with Cam Corp for company in P5, Simo 6, Josh and Morgs, they're on it again.
Josh goes defensive.
And gets the job done.
Morgs going for the undercut here. Let's see that hang out on the outside here.
Just keeping his car, making his car as wide as possible.
Yeah.
But it seems like it'll only, yeah, only be a matter of time.
That's it. They've done that pretty well.
Alright. We're right on board with Mumpy as well. Watching this all happen in front of him, watching the three drivers in front of him get really, really close together. This will definitely be music to my ears if I see this in front of me, hoping that, you know, one wrong move. Morgs has gone a little bit deep on that last corner. That could be one wrong move, a little bit wide here as well. Tusas might be making a move here. It's those shift points, like if you have that momentum, when you shift you lose so much momentum, and the car, if that car behind you is not shifting at the same time, it just catches up so fast.
And that's what we're talking about, skipping gears, is because of the amount of time it takes to shift gears, it's more effective just to shift from second into third, mid-corner while you're coasting, and avoid the shift while under power.
Josh has managed to get away as a result of that. A few of those corners where Morgs ran wide, so he's got himself a little bit of breathing room. Battle Pack has broken away up the front here. Tricky's still ahead. 10 Pilot keeping him honest. Red Bearsy as well keeping him honest. So P1, 2 and 3 is still all within earshot of each other. Spec's doing a great job in P4. Camcorp dropped a little bit back there, but in P5, hanging on. Simo in P6.
DJ's got the job done on Morgs.
Oh, yep, he managed to get through there. So Morgs might be feeling a little bit rattled just from just being caught in that battle pack a bit too much there. So, but penalty or two, and he could be right back in front. So we'll see how that goes. Grumpy's looking to keep him honest as well. And rounding out the rear, we obviously have Rooster and Yowie. This is obviously PSN is halfback, so for those playing at home, that's where we're at in terms of drivers there. Tricky still has the fastest lap, quite good fastest lap actually, a 35.0, which is a big improvement on the last race. So it looks like he's quite comfortable out the front there. Red Bearsy though is getting quite close to 10 Pilot. I think they actually could be side by side here, yep. Red Bearsy sets the fastest 34.7.
Yeah, and that would be due to having the nice slipstream down the back straight, I'd imagine, and hanging with 10 Pilot.
Oh no!
The first three cars are quite similar times. Good work there from Bearsy for letting that one go to try it again.
Try to hold a really tight line, which is normally good for the inside, but on that turn 1 corner in particular, with such a elevation change in the camber, you just end up spinning around, especially in a rear-wheel drive car. So 10 Pilot actually had the better line on the outside there, so he goes again. They keep their positions 2 and 3.
Red Bearsy got a little bit loose on the exit of the last turn, so he's dropped a little bit of precious.
Yeah, you can see the gap now, yep. The gap forming up a little bit there. We're already halfway through the race.
Those two fighting is going to be working in Tricky's favour.
Without a doubt. And there's heaps of battle packs forming with 2 or more drivers. Camcorp and Simo. Josh is being hunted down by Tusas.
Yeah, Tusas is looking good in the clean air. I think, as I was saying earlier, he's got his braking markers pretty well locked away. And the other drivers in front, the traffic's kind of throwing him off a bit.
I think Morgs has shaken off that rustiness at the start of the race. There's a 35.5, which is a very decent lap. He's right on the back of Tusas here, so he's definitely finding some pace again, which is good to see.
Clint Westwood has said power is all down low. Is 100% correct. And that's why shifting into third early is no big loss. It's actually more effective than revving out the second gear.
Seems like Tricky's found the sweet spot here. Has a little bit of breathing room to be able to pull away, which is good. 10 Pilot though has actually got Red Bearsy right on the back of him. He is right on board looking over his rear spoiler. That Porsche logo really bothers me on this car, but we'll let it go.
I like it. You know, it's my style. You
Makes
should
no
enter in
sense.
cars.
I like things to be in order and correct, and this does not do that. But everyone can do that, and you know, express themselves however they want. All right. Red Bearsy probably has a little bit of work to do to catch up there. Specs is being reeled in by Camcorp a little bit. Simmer's got a nice gap to Josh. Morgs has actually got the move done on DJ2 Sus, so as we were saying earlier, finding his feet, shaking off that rust, getting the job done. P8. He started at the back. Those playing at home. Now how's our two friends at the back going? Rooster, doing a good job holding on to P11, nice and consistent. Calm, clean lines. Yoey doesn't seem to be catching, but could change, we'll see. Whoa, big news up front. Tricky has a 2-second penalty.
Oh, here we go. This is going to tighten it up. I think he might manage to hang on to the position.
I think
you have to serve the penalty at the start of the straight, which is very unfortunate. So 2 seconds is going to turn to 5 seconds. But it will put Temp Pilot into possibly a slipstream.
Yeah, I think so. And the best part is I don't think Temp Pilot or Red Bearsy can actually see that he's got a penalty, so right on board with Tricky. We'll have a look over his rear view. See how close they get.
Tricky sets us purple sector.
Oh, look how close Temp Pilot's getting. Holy moly. Oh my goodness.
This is not over.
Oh, this was written to spice things up for sure.
Blood in the water, so Tricky's going to feel the pressure here, and Temp Pilot is going to be feeling like he's got nothing to lose.
Yep, and Temp Pilot's probably looking to rattle him a little bit. Yeah, true. Temp Pilot's probably going to look to rattle him a little bit, but they're in the slipstream. There are 3 of them in the slipstream. Sorry, well, 3 in total, but 2 in the slipstream. You get my math. Let's see what Temp Pilot does here. Goes on the outside, which seems to be the fast line here. Tricky goes really tight. I think that's actually going to slow him down a fair bit.
Poor Red Bearsy was trying to give Temp Pilot a push there.
Yeah, almost. I'm going to ride on board here with Temp Pilot, see what he's thinking. Showing him the nose, positioning the car, doing all the tricks to trick Tricky.
Tricky's taking a good line here, so we might...
Yep, he got a good line out there. Yeah, he got a really good line out of that.
That's what I was talking about earlier on.
Price is good there.
Yep.
Still,
so Temp Pilot might have been rushing that turn, and yeah.
Giving himself a bit of breathing room. 3.5 laps to go. Might check in with them a little bit later. I think we'll see something happening towards the back here with Morgs and Full Grumpy. They've become close friends, it seems. So Morgs has dropped back behind DJ2 Sus, so something must have happened there where 2 Sus was able to get ahead. Camcorp's right on the back of Josh though, heading down the back straight. Let's see what happens at the chicane. And Camcorp just positions his car up the inside. Oh, Josh is not letting him have it though.
Josh turned in a little bit early on him there, but let's see what happens here.
I think Josh was just using the curbs to his advantage to have a shorter path there and keep his car ahead of him. But Camcorp does get the job done, finishing in P6.
Textbook precision there.
All right, back to the front. Temp Pilot's fallen back a little bit, got a bit hot under the collar there. Looks like he's fallen right back into the wheels of Red Bearsy here.
Yeah, possibly trying to rush the car a bit. He takes the pole line again through there, so Tricky will power away.
Tricky just needs to get no penalties here to make sure that he finishes in a good spot.
So he goes purple through sector 1.
Doing a nice job. The Simpsons liveried Radical. I can see the upside down Spider Pig under his rear spoiler, which is very, very funny. I do like that touch. And he comes down the back straight, he's gone purple again. Yeah. Temp Pilot and Red Bearsy though, not too far away.
So he's shook off the penalty and hasn't let it affect him, which is good.
Just need to
So,
focus on not having any further incidents or penalties.
yeah.
So we'll see what happens here. We've got 2 laps to go as they come around this final corner for the lap. Might just check in towards the mid-pack and the back of the group as we go through these last couple laps. Specs looks like P4's in the bag for him unless something crazy happens behind him or to him. We'll see.
All on his lonesome. Similar to Simo.
Simo, yep, got a little bit of room but needs to keep himself honest here. Cam Corp in P6, Josh in P7 will have a big mountain to climb here to keep DJ2 sus behind him. Morgs is breaking away from full Grumpy. Rooster still hanging on to a P11 and Yowie in P12.
DJ under brakes is just phenomenal in comparison to the drivers around him. He just closes those gaps.
Action alert, the gap between Tricky and Tempilot has closed down significantly.
Oh, I wonder why, because, Tempilot just set a 1.5 tenths quickest purple, so...
Maybe he's just finding a new level. Alright, he's definitely in slipstream range.
Deep breath. Taking a deep breath, there we go, 2 tenths. So,
yeah, 2 tenths up, yeah.
It's got the slipstream, so...
He could go for fastest lap here, definitely, before the slipstream.
The trick is also 2 tenths on that sector, so...
Well, it was Red Bearsy that set that lap, and we thought he was in the slipstream when he did it, so...
Yeah.
Everyone could be in that sort of similar ballpark.
He's just took a little bit of time there, Tempilot, that is.
Keeps teasing us, Tempilot, getting close and then falling behind. Do any of them set the fastest lap?
Yep.
No? Oh, Tricky does go fastest lap there, yeah.
And that's probably, I think that's the fastest we've seen on the track through heat 1 and 2. Oh no!
What happened to Bearsy there? I missed that.
He touched the outside and got a bit loose and recovered the car like a pro.
I thought he was going for a very late move, but must have just went a little bit too wide on the outside there into turn 1.
That was sphincter clincher.
Alright, Red Bearsy could be on for a P2 here. We'll stay tuned to this battle.
Specs, everyone else is safe when I'm all alone.
Well, with that being said, that P4 is probably in the bag for him here. Alright, Red Bearsy's taking a much nicer line there compared to Tempilot, but he's probably a little bit too far away unless he's feeling very confident into the chicane.
Tempilot's helmet is just funny.
Yeah, the screaming
head.
head.
When you see the car coming from far away.
Oh, Red Bearsy's getting a great exit out of the chicane. He's letting him know. Oh, Tempilot goes defensive. Let's see what happens here. I think he's got it, but we'll jump to Tricky in P1 as he comes to take the points finish there in P1. Congrats, Tricky. Oh, Tempilot, Red Bearsy side by side. Oh, that was so close.
Split for that.
That would have been really, really close. Specs P4. Simo P5. Camcorp P6. DJ Tusos got the jump on Josh and does a donut with Josh. P7 and P8. Synchronized arms. Synchronized dancing there. Morgs P9. They all slow down and make a nice little rolling roadblock there. Full Grumpy P10.
The yellow flag comes out due to the fact that happened, so that could be pretty bad for the cars in the rear.
Yeah, if they were going for a final move. That's why we don't do that, guys.
That's why we don't do it.
Halfback Rooster P11 and Yowie in P12. That race went a lot faster than the first race. I don't know about you, but it just felt like there was so much happening the entire time.
I feel like the whole Heat 1 and Heat 2 just went very quickly. It was very entertaining, really enjoyable.
Yeah, and the conditions weren't too bad, actually. I think everyone did a good job. There weren't any big offs or anything like that. So props to our race strategist, Flux, for another great setup and another great car choice. So yeah, it was a very interesting setup. It's actually one of the first one of the first times we've gotten some community members involved with trialing the car in a
Yep.
secret test session before we pick the
Do you
final
think you
car.
will do that this for the next season as well?
We were just discussing that actually. We're looking ahead to season. Oh gosh, we're coming up to season 10. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at the list that we have, but I think we're pretty confident on our choice there of what will be coming. So stay tuned. It's not that far away. So that was actually round 5 we saw tonight. Technically, we just completed round 6 last week. Some of the admin were unwell, so
Correct.
we weren't able to do the live stream as per the schedule. So thanks for bearing with us. And now we're actually into round 7 this week. So coming to the final 3 rounds of the season. So we've got Willow Springs for the Group 3s, which is going to be very, very rapid. We've got Monza for the Sprint Series in the Radicals, and then we've also got Watkins Glen for the ACC drivers. So it's going to be a very, very great week. So looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting back in the rig, all healthy and ready to roll. Hope you guys are all looking forward to it as well. As always, we hope you enjoyed yourself tonight and had a nice chill evening and enjoyed some sim racing. Thanks to Apex Point Racing League. Thanks to you guys as well for tuning in. Thanks to everyone that helps around in the background from our hosts.
Mm.
Big shout out to Full Grumpy, our lead steward, and all the stewards that have been supporting all the tickets that have been coming through this season. Let me tell you guys, the wet Nurburgring attracted a big chunk of tickets, naturally to be expected. But can you imagine if it was on the Nordschleife? I can only imagine how bad that would be. Thanks to our moderators as well, the admin team, so myself, Anthony, Flux, and Full Grumpy, our lead steward as well. Thanks to everyone that shows the support and also chooses to support us, whether that's through a donation to help keep the servers running and boosting and handing out trophies and things like that, and to the guys also that boost our Discord server as well. We really do appreciate it. But hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed, Anthony. Hope you had a good night. Thanks again for joining me.
Not a problem. It was a very fun night, and thank you all for joining us.
Always a pleasure. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good rest of your evening, and we will catch you in the next one.